Out.
No,
It's
okay.
okay.
But so
To be honest, there's no such thing as documentary, because documentary, when you do a documentary, you already lose it, because you knew that you are shooting, you have a camera, you have all this technological, stuff with you, you have the sound, and you know that you're filming, and you just like shooting it like, the way it's happening in real life. But we already intervene being a filmmaker. So it's not really like a documentary. It's like, it's already a fiction. But the reason why we call it documentary is because we use non-professional actors. We take it as the way it is, But in fiction, it's always like you have the narrative. You structure everything, right? But in the flattering thing about my filmmaking style is that people think that my films are documentary in a way, because I have one film, The Teacher, which it was in competition in Torino International Film Fest. In Nantes, in France, and they put it under documentary, but it's a fiction. So it's one thing that's really very flattering on my part, because they thought that my films are fiction. I mean, are documentary, but the fact is they are fiction. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, even if my film are fiction, I'd like to depict them as much as possible, as close to reality, and that thing, I think it makes them like a documentary in a way. Even the way the actors would act, even the way I would capture them, in their interaction with one another, and even the way the story is being told is all like in a documentary style. So yeah, it's still fiction, but I would consider I'm doing it in a documentary style.
So
They are professional.
yeah, so
Most of them are professionals. It's just that people thought that they are, they're non-professional, or I got them from the street, or but they are professional actors. They're like mainstream actors, like.
Oh.
Yeah. In Foster Child, she's like, she does a lot of soap operas. And the social worker in Foster Child was like a comedian in the Philippines. She's like a top comedian in the Philippines, and she's well known in the Philippines. So yeah. Yeah, I don't like the right script. I think the script or the screenplay should be written by a screenwriter. But I am very much hands-on on the story, on the concept, and with the research process. But the writer should be given to the writer. So, and I'd like to see it that way, because I like to work from a different points of view, from the director's point of view. Because I don't want to get sometimes you get too involved. You see your work as as sometimes you tend to involve so much of yourself in the story that you tend to lose sight already, from a different perspective. So I always want to see my story from another's point of view, and then that's where I direct it. So I think I am more in a way, I am more freer that way. And plus the fact that I think for me that filmmaking is always a team effort, It's not, I don't believe that, I believe that the director is a captain of the ship, but I always believe that filmmaking is always a team, it's always a teamwork. I improvise a lot.
Yeah.
I improvise a lot. For me, the script is like a structure, It's like a framework. Okay, and then from there I improvise a lot. It really depends, because my style is like real time, it's very real time. So it really depends on what will happen during the shoot, on how the scene will evolve. And there's a lot of improvisations, from the actors, from the script, or from the situation that will arise. So this is how I work. I am very hands-on with the camera and with my shots, so I am really the one doing all the basically the shots. Like I did the photography in the Teacher Manro, and the photography in Tirador, in Slingshot. So yeah, so but I work very well with Odyssey because he knows my style. And he knows my, my kind of framing. I think that I can never do slingshot or tirador on a 35mm. It has to be done on an HDD or on a video because of the wrist and because of the fast movement in the film. I mean, you just can't carry your very heavy 35mm camera on your shoulder all the time with all the running and everything. So I think it really has to be on a video. So it really depends. It really depends on the concept. If I'm going to use a video or a 35mm. Of course, the Masur will always be my favorite because it's my first film, and it won the grand prize in a major festival. It's like a baby, It's like a baby. But to this date, the hardest film that I did is Slingshot. Very hard. It's hard in terms of logistics, in terms of storytelling, in terms of a lot of things, a lot of the production and everything. It's so those two, the Tirador and the Masur. I don't care about the critics. I care about the people's reaction. In my country, unfortunately, they don't receive my film very well because they don't want to see reality. They don't want to see face to face with what's happening in their life. They want to see something that's beautiful, something that is not real. They want to see something unreal, something that they could fantasize, something that they could want to be, something that they want to aspire for. So this is the kind of film that they want to see. They don't want to look in the mirror, because if they look closer in the mirror, the more you get close to the mirror, the more you see something about yourself which you don't like. And I don't think people wouldn't like that. So it's a sad reality that's happening with my films and in my country. But the nice thing is with my film, I mean other people from outside my country, they get to appreciate it and they get to know more not only about my filmmaking style, which is, I think is not relevant, but more on the culture and more about my country. To be very honest with you, the nice thing about what's happening now in the Philippines is that there's a thriving, independent film industry. So unlike about 3 or 4 years ago, when you never heard about Philippine cinema, when you never heard about independent cinema in the Philippines. Now, just last week before I left the Philippines, like 3 days ago or 2 days ago, we have like a festival of independent filmmakers, where you have like 10 films done by first-time filmmakers and with different various kinds of films and they're all people abroad, and the festival in the festival circuit they start going in the Philippines to see this kind of films. I mean, not only a small festival programmer, but the big ones. You have the Toronto, you have the Busan, you have the Berlinale, you have all the major festivals going to the Philippines to see these new filmmakers and this new film. So if there's one thing, I think it's quite positive, especially in the independent cinema. And not so much in the mainstream. I mean, the mainstream is really, if not dead, is already dying. So. Not so much because that's the thing. You have all these filmmakers and good films, coming out, but we don't have the audience. The audience still goes to the mainstream. The audience still go to the Hollywood, like in any other part of the world, like in any other country. They all watch this film. They don't watch the film. We might have the good films, but we don't have the audience. So, but the thing is, we have the awareness. So as long as we have the awareness, somehow you have slowly getting the audience, slowly, having the audience. It's not, you can't do this overnight. But the nice thing is we are slowly having the awareness, and probably in the future we're gonna have the audience. And it's I just want to be, I don't want to be negative, I want to be, you know, positive in a way, because we somehow my kind of cinema was able to, you know, give them an awareness, and I want to continue it that way, and probably with other filmmakers they will, you know, continue, you know, doing it.